Alright there, YouTube. So we got the Rowdy Rodney engine here. It's out of the truck. I've got the rest of the front end accessories off of it. I've got it mounted up on the engine stand here. And we're going to tear this thing apart and see what went wrong with this engine. Now there's a few things on this engine that I'm awfully curious about. Now when this engine first started going out, it was I don't know, midnight, 1 a.m., something like that. We were towing a trailer, heading back to the house. The wife was with me, and started going up the hill, and it downshifted. We started getting a bit of a squealing noise out of the motor, which you guys heard a little bit when I was pulling this truck in to the shop to pull the motor out. So that's what it started with, was a squealing noise. Also had a little bit of light tapping. And then we started quickly losing oil pressure after that. By the time we made it back to the house, about 20-30 miles, about what we had left, we had about 2-3 pounds of oil pressure, and this thing was rod knocking like crazy. Now I'm not really sure what that squealing noise was all about. But I'm thinking the rod knock is a secondary problem, and something else is going on that caused us to lose oil pressure, which created the rod knock, but we'll see. It won't take me very long to get this engine torn apart, so that valve cover is off here now. We're going to pop the intake manifold off. Then I'll roll it over, take the oil pan off. Took all the head bolts out. Pistons all look really nice, cylinder walls look nice, still visible cross hatching, which is pretty good considering this motor's got about 200,000 miles on it. Alright, so we got the other cylinder head off now. As you guys can see, these look quite nice. There's no real signs of oil consumption. Tops of the pistons are really clean. There is a tiny bit of really light scoring in number 3 here, but that'll clean right up with the hone. So top end's looking really nice. A little bit of metal in the valley here, bearing material. Some dirt dropped in there when I took this apart. Not to worry about that. If this engine does go back together, it'll be all cleaned up before it goes back together. But we're going to go ahead and roll this engine over, pull the oil pan, and I'm thinking that's where we're going to find all our damage. I'm not sure quite yet what these are. Holy cow. That's nasty, whatever it is. I'd say that's some big chunks of metal. We're going to go ahead and pull the harmonic balancer off of here. Alright, now that the harmonic balancer's off, go ahead and knock the timing cover off. Alright, so it's now actually the following weekend. I got it down to the short block here last Sunday, and today I want to go ahead and get this thing the rest of the way down to just a bare block. We can see the big issue here is number 1 and 2 rod bearings here have just a wee bit more clearance than they should. You know, that's probably about a 1/4 inch of clearance there. This is what they're supposed to be like. Basically nothing. I think the clearance is like 2.5 to 3.5 thousandths of an inch. I'll have to double check that before I go to reassembly here. But anyway, as far as I can tell at this point, it doesn't look like any mains are spun. I did pull the camshaft out, and cam bearings are toast just from junk running through the engine, but that's alright. So we're going to need cam bearings. It does not look like any of the mains are spun yet, but I do need to get the crank out of here so that I can be absolutely sure on that. I did go ahead and order a rebuild kit for this engine, so let's cross our fingers, hope that that's not the case. But anyway, let's go ahead and start getting pistons and rods knocked out of here. There's absolutely no rod bearing left in there. Alright, so all the pistons and rods are taken out now. The bores all look fantastic. Crank feels like it spins over just like it should. Obviously, number 1 and 2 journals here are completely shut. There's a huge ridge here in between the 2 rods. I don't think they even make an oversized bearing large enough to turn that down, get a good bearing surface there again. But I've got another standard crankshaft for a small block Chevy that just needs a quick light polish. So we're going to be using that on this engine. The rest of these journals, other than some light scoring from trash running through them, actually don't look all that bad. Could probably almost be polished. But anyway, let's get these main caps out and get the crankshaft out of here. Yeah, we were like literally moments away from spinning the number 2 main bearing, but it did not spin. We're going to be okay there, but yeah, that bearing is absolutely toast. You can tell by looking at the backside though that this did not spin. It was also in the correct position when I removed the cap, but Yeah, that bearing was literally moments away from spinning. All right, it seems how we're going to be replacing these cam bearings. I'm just going to go ahead and knock them out. It's going to make it a lot easier cleaning all of our oil passages and everything out. So to do that, first thing we're going to need to do is knock this frost plug out of the back right here. Now to do that, I'm just going to take a jack handle, slide it through here. See that removed that frost plug? Now I'm actually going to roll this engine over to remove the cam bearings. It just makes it easier to see what I'm doing here. So, now a lot of people think that you got to hire cam bearings out to a machine shop. They're really not that hard. Just need a special tool that's not very expensive. You can see these cam bearings are pretty well shot. Down to the copper, they're chewed up. They feel very rough. Now a lot of that's just from the garbage running through the engine when this engine went out. So, alright, so that's the engine all torn down. Looks like this block is going to be a great candidate for a budget rebuild. So that's fantastic. Anyway, I got several hours of just cleaning and prep work to do on this block before it's ready for reassembly. So next video on this is going to be reassembly on the motor, but we're going to end this video off here. Thanks guys for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe down below. Thank you. Have a great day.